Hey there, folks. Here I am again in my weirdly dark room. Originally, I was going to have a piece of music for you today, another little musical minute, but piece of music the piece of music I was working on it's not ready yet. Needs something. One of those things where it's only after you accomplish exactly what you set out to do that you sit back and go, now why did I want to do that in the first place? So instead, let's talk ethics. As you all know, I'm taking an online course on morality, and lately I read this really interesting article about basically the limits of empathy as a moral guide. And, instantly when I saw this subject, my hackles rose, because I firmly believe that empathy is the foundation of all ethics. Only empathy answers the question, why do we care what happens to people other than us? That's as far as you can take that chain of reasoning. At a certain point, if you examine morality, you will reach that question. And the only reason it matters to us is because we have empathy. We are born to care about one another. But one of the things that's bothering me in this whole discussion about the limits of empathy is no one seems to really have one single definition of empathy that works for me. So here I'll give you my own. To me, empathy is only the feeling of other people's emotions. The part of you that gets sad when you look at a person who is sad. That is empathy. And that is hardwired into us. Your reaction to that particular empathic input varies. And that's when sympathy gets into the question. You may recognize that person is sad, and a part of you, the sort of inner mirror, feels that sadness too. But that doesn't mean you actually care about the person. Your reaction to that might be unsympathetic. And you might think, hell, you might even think that person deserves to be sad. And be glad they're sad. So that's the difference to me between empathy and sympathy. And while I still think that empathy is the foundation of all ethics, it is not all of ethics. It is not the only thing. It's just the foundational layer. So as one moves up the intellectual sphere, the intellectual axis, we'll say, other things come into play. Things that are not necessarily about just the feeling of other people's emotions. Things that we know the difference between right and wrong without actually having to be there and experience the emotion, or even experience the emotion just from a picture or something like that. Like, if a tidal wave hits a small island nation and 3,000 people die, sure, a picture will make us feel it more keenly, but we don't need the picture in order to know that that's bad and a tragedy and something that we really wish didn't happen. And that is an intellectual knowledge of good and evil. That doesn't mean it's emotionless, just that it doesn't have the red-hot immediacy of empathy. That's why, to answer another question that keeps coming up, that's why if you saw someone drowning, you'd jump in and get them out. But on the other hand, if someone asks you for $50 to save an orphan in Africa, you might just turn them down. Even if when you're there, then the entire moral picture is there. Empathy, sympathy, everything. When you're not, the sad to say, the less you can relate to the person who needs help, when you're, not there and everything, the less you're likely to help them. It's our tribal instinct. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's the psychological, moral truth of it. That's why, a million people rising up and slaughtering one another in Africa. Well, okay, 100,000. Most of those were Tutsis. Anyway, in Rwanda, that is. It makes the headlines. But it doesn't seem that important to us. Why? Because those people are far away, and they are nothing like us, and they don't look like us, they don't talk like us, and, well, they're dark brown. And the blacker the person, the less white people can empathize with them. Especially people who do not have any of the other signifiers of being of our tribe, like language, culture, how they dress, what they eat, things like that. So, those are my thoughts today. I'll probably have more. In fact, I'll probably think of a bunch more after I finish this video. But, to be honest, people, I kind of need a nap. So, I'll leave you with those thoughts for now. Guess I'll see all you nice people again tomorrow. Bye-bye.